We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how do you say that? Air it out? Air it out?
Air it out.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Air It Out podcast. I'm your host, Jerome Jones. I was told not to sing anymore for the intro or I will be exiled. So I'm not going to do that. But I got my guys here, full house tonight. We got my man, Darren Braxton, right here in the building. How you doing, Mr. Darren Braxton?
What's good? What's good, people? It's always great to sit here and talk football with my guys. Let's get it.
We got my man, Avery Collins, right down here. How you feeling, my man, Avery?
So I'm all right. It's been a very sobering week. I'm not going to get into that, but, I'm glad to be on the podcast and talk some football.
Let's talk some football and none other than my man, Darius Ryder down there. How you doing, Darius?
What's going on? Good to be back. Nice little vacation, but it's good to be back. Talk my Patriots crap with these guys. Let them know that it's still Bill Belichick revenge tour. I know y'all missed that, so I'm gonna keep that to a limited this episode.
So hold on. Time out. So you hop off the quarterbacks and now you're going to the coach.
I've been said Bill Belichick revenge tour. We can go back. We can go back
It was camp season.
It was season camp
And
MVP.
listen, tour. Gotta be optimist. I gotta be an optimist. Pats fan, man.
See, this is what you get with Patriots fans, man. This is what you get with Patriots fans.
This is that.
I'm sorry.
This is that Patriots stuff.
My lost Tom Brady don't know what to do.
Wow. We got a comment in here already. Mr. Chris Thomas, he said, "What's up, y'all? Trade Matt Ryan." Ooh, wow.
Y'all, you wish you had Matt Ryan.
Coming at your heart already, Chris Thomas.
Chris wishes he had Matt Ryan on his roster.
Oh. That's what this was right there.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna hate on that. Anyway, let's get into this, man. We're gonna do a quick little rundown right now with the latest news that just came out, and it all happened today. So this is great because we came on the podcast at a perfect day, and we're gonna talk about David DeCastro just got cut by the Steelers. Being on the Steelers for I think it was about like 9 years, 10 years, something like that. Just got cut. From the team, a very rare and unexpected cut for these guys. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. And also, new alternate helmet rule. The NFL is allowing teams in 2022 to have alternate helmets. This can be really big for a lot of teams that want to, use some of the old school jerseys and things like that. So with those two news, we're going to get right into it, but we're going to talk about David DeCastro first. I want to start with Avery on this one. He got cut from the Steelers. Avery just learned about this about like 5 minutes ago. His reaction was the best. I want to know how you feel about him being cut from the Steelers.
I am shocked. I am confusion. Okay. Honestly, for me, it's a situation where I'm concerned. And the reason why is because the Steelers are typically loyal, especially when it comes to the linemen and different things like that. We've seen it throughout the years, whether it be being loyal to the coach, loyal to the quarterback, loyal, like I said, especially to linemen and different things like that. So to me, this is concerning. It makes me question, is he injured or has he fallen off so much that he's just no longer an asset for them? And I didn't see too much of that last year, so it has me concerned as to was there something that happened in the offseason that led to this? Because he's actually been one of the better offensive linemen in the league his entire career, and so I'm curious to kind of look more into this and see how this plays out. I wonder if a team is going to pick him up, and I would love to kind of hear from him. I would love to see if he has like a soundbite out, maybe do an interview or something like that. Because it's kind of I was shocked.
Definitely. Darius, let me know how you feel about this with him being in your conference. How you feel about this, man?
It's a surprise, especially because when we look back at last season, the number one issue Pittsburgh had was the offensive line. They couldn't run the ball, and then you release one of your guys who's been productive all year, no off the field issues, probably a really good guy in the locker room, and then it just catches everyone off guard. A 6-time Pro Bowler, so that means he's doing something right, and you just release him. So it's like, what's your plan B? And then they're going after a guy who's a 5-time Pro Bowler, but it's like, you have issues on your offensive line. Your biggest concern is to protect your quarterback, Big Ben, who is up there in age, who can't take those hits that he was taking, when he first came in the league. You can't run the ball. So to decide to revamp your offensive line right before training camp, I think it's a fishy move. But the only people that know what they're doing is best is the people inside that locker room, the people inside that organization. So maybe they know something that we don't, but from an outsider's looking in, you're surprised. And as a Steelers fan, you're like, what the heck? But if you're a Ravens fan like Darren, you're like, that's even better. We're about to really get the Big Ben now. Now he really doesn't. Now they're really not going to be able to run the ball. And now Big Ben really doesn't have any type of protection. So now you might see the Pittsburgh Steelers really struggle to really move the ball down the field.
Darius, you done got him started.
I had to because he's next.
You started me up already. Started me up already, man.
Yeah. Chris Thomas says, bring back the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets throwback. No.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, no. We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that. Don't worry, they drafted a running back behind 5 new starters. Wow.
Name those 5 starters.
And he says the Steelers are about to finish last in the division. So really, real quick, before we get to the guy that's actually in the division. Real quick, I want to name like ESPN. I'm looking at ESPN's depth chart right now. They are quick. They already took him off the depth chart already. He's off the roster. So they have and excuse me for his first name because I always get it wrong. I think it's Chuck Wama Okafor. They got that's their left tackle. They got Kevin Dobson. They got Kendrick Green. They got Avante Collins, and they got Zach Browner as their offensive lineman.
Who? That sounds like
my man said who? So, Darren, how do you feel about this? And will this make the Ravens #1 in the division now?
You set it up perfectly. Well, let's start it off right, people. We want to do the little good dance because of the simple fact that is a huge weight off our shoulders. Y'all gotta understand, Dave DeCastro was a monster for at least 8 years with the Steelers. We dealt with him 2 times a year with the Steelers for those 8 years, and he was always a dominant force on the inside, whether it be in pass protection or run protection. And the best part, they had to do it, and just trust me on this, they had to do it for cap reasons. The Steelers are still in a very, very tight cap situation. They didn't have too many players that they can actually cut, and they already are revamping that offensive line. They feel as though they can get Trey Turner in there on a half of what Dave DeCastro had. I'm telling you, man, it would be great. I'm not listening to Chris right now. I'm talking Chris. He better be happy if the Eagles make it out of the division. In not last week.
All right, calm down.
Exactly. So, like I was saying with my DeCastro thing, y'all gotta understand, he already is going to be a guy that when you get up there in age, you're going to be looked at as a cap casualty, even if you're a great player. So I'm not truly fully surprised, but it's just the timing of it that I'm surprised with. Now, I do like how they're going to try to replace him with Trey Turner. Like I said, it's a younger guy, a little bit less money that they can spend, and that will help bring a little more talent to that potential new starting 5. And with Big Ben back there being slower, being older, and having Najee Harris, who's still a rookie and still needs to learn, that's not a great combination for the Steelers. So I can definitely see them dropping down. If not last place, they're definitely not going to beat out either us, the Ravens, or the Browns. Browns and Ravens are probably the #2 teams in that division. And
don't sleep on the Bengals.
Top 5 possibly in the conference. Just saying.
I agree with you, Chris. Jacob, thanks for being in here as well. He said that a good thing the offensive line and the quarterback of the series took a running back in the first round. So, yeah, man, this is it's very interesting how this is going to turn out with, that offensive line just you know, a lot of no name. I know some of these guys. I think Zach Banner is going to be a solid guy. Khan's going to be solid. But nobody that's like they got the guy. So it's going to be very interesting. Jacob says replacing him with Trey Turner for cheap would be good if Trey Turner was good.
The Bengals are gonna have a better offensive line than the Steelers. Noted right here.
Ooh, wow.
Noted right here.
Wow. That's yeah.
And the Bengals had a terrible line, but they're gonna have a better line.
If you guys listen, if you guys have Twitter, do me a solid. Go on Twitter, search Big Ben, and look at some of the memes. You're gonna have a good laugh. If you had a bad day, do that for me right now.
I think the line is going to be a lot better than people think, and it's not because of the line. It's going to be because of the veteran quarterback behind them, schooling them, coaching them, making the calls and getting all the right calls, and getting the ball out of his hands quicker. And because you got Najee Harris in the backfield now, so I don't think they're going to be as bad. I think there's going to be some masking that's going to go on, right? So they're going to be able to learn quicker because they have a veteran quarterback, in addition to the fact that they've got a phenomenal running back and they have a really good offensive line coach. I just think that it's going to be a situation where they're not going to be great, but they're going to be better than expected because of those other factors.
Definitely. All right, let's move on to the next highlight of the day. The new alternate helmets that just got passed by the league. I'm gonna start with Darren with this one. How do you feel about this? Do you think it's a great thing? You don't care? What's your stance on this?
I'll be honest. I'm not big on the alternate helmets now. If it was, we can get certain throwback jerseys and different throwback uniforms to be worn, then yes. Or if we can have the Color Rush uniforms be worn at any time instead of just on Color Rush Thursdays, that would be actually pretty nice as well. But alternate helmets, I can I can take it or leave it for the helmets. I'm sorry, it's fine with me. And if that happens, expect right now. I'm saying it. If that happens, the Steelers will be one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. Forget just a conference in the division.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Hey, you gotta remember, they still got a really good defense.
That's true. The defense gonna keep them in games.
And Mason Rudolph is gonna lose them games. So back to my I'm calling. Mason has not shown anyone that he can be a true starting quarterback in this league, let alone a good quality backup quarterback in this league. So sorry, I can't have no trust in him right now.
All right, Darius, how do you feel about the new helmet rule?
I'm like Darren. I mean, it's cool that that they're doing it, but I'm not really at all. Like Darren said, if you can wear the Color Rush jerseys, certain games or Monday night games or Sunday night games, that'd be cool. Or you bring back the throwback jerseys, but I'm not really a big fan of it. I mean, we'll see how it looks when it does come. Like Darren said, if they bring back them classic jerseys, I would be happy with that more, but this is something I'm just like, okay, this is cute. This is cool. This is nothing like wow. Like with the jersey number being like with the single jersey number for skill players, that to me was pretty cool. It wasn't on that level, but
Avery? Let Avery go first and then let you go.
So I understand why Darren said meh. And I understand why Darius agrees. Meh. Because both their teams, their uniforms are meh. I mean,
here we go.
That fire like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they cool or whatever. Like the Ravens, they best ones is obviously the black Jones. Them all black Jones are fire. Them Jones is crazy. I ain't gonna sit there but
they are.
Outside of that, it's like meh. And of course the alt helmets is like their alt helmets are meh. Now, if you see how it says, if you could put the graphic back up of what we're talking about right here, really quick, I just want to point something out. ATL, Atlanta. You already know we're bringing back those red helmets with the black bird on it, man. The early birds are back. Y'all remember those days when Michael Turner was toting that thing in a red helmet, knocking people off his thighs and stuff like this? This joint is going to be fire for teams who actually have fire uniforms and fire alternate helmets. I understand why y'all would say Met, but me, I'm like, oh yeah, bring back them Red Boys, baby. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
It's not this season. It's the following season, so you gotta wait.
So first off, I commend you for that. I don't know how you decided ATL. I'm like, you good for that.
I didn't even notice this. You can correct me.
My actual thing is this. Could you guys imagine if they had 1 week in the NFL, probably in the middle of the season, every team wears throwback jerseys? All throwback jerseys, all throwback uniforms throughout the league.
If that happens, the Eagles win. Them bright green joints, those are the most fire throwback. I don't care no. Them joints are so tough. Those lime green. Listen, man, them things.
Kelly Green.
I call it what you want. Them things is fire.
Give me the powder blues. Give me the original powder blues, and I'll be happy.
No. I agree with this. Matt Ryan might be the most swagless quarterback in the
league. Midnight Greens, yes. And Kelly Greens.
Them Kelly Greens is fire, Jacob. Them Kelly Greens is fire.
Listen, you guys trying to find an area to get. Here it is.
Give me the powder blue from the Chargers, man.
Listen, guys.
That's the one.
Say, I'm not too high on the whole uniform, new helmet thing. I don't care. I just want to watch football. But we recently just talked about this. If this team get this, boy, I'm getting it.
The white? Yeah, I knew it was the white. Yes.
If you can do that, if you can do that, that's fire.
You know, if they do that, if they do, they win. Period.
Hands down. I don't care if they lose by 20. They still win that game. Sure, baby. Oh,
definitely. All right, guys, let's get to our next topic, man. We had fun with the uniforms and things like that, but let's get to our first topic, and it will be NFC boom or bust. So a guy or player that you think will either boom or bust in the NFC. We'll start with you, Darius. Who do you think will be that guy in this conference rather?
For my bust, I'm gonna go with a guy who I think wasn't worth what he was traded for. And I'm gonna go with Jamal Adams. And I think it's simply the fact is that one, he really can't stay healthy, and two, he's not a true safety, but I think he's in a situation where I wouldn't have gave up 2 first-round picks for him. So I think he's going to be one of the players that he's going to bust, and I think it's mainly just going to be because he can't really stay on the field. Not because of his skill set. When he's on the field, he's actually a solid player. It's just more of the health concerns with him. He can't stay on the field because he's always hurt. And I think Seattle's defense they need that, especially with the leaving of their top corner, Shaquem Griffin. He went to Jacksonville, so you need that. You need that guy that's going to be back there doing those things, or even just coming down in the box. A guy who I think is going to boom, and I really wanted him, but I'm not really mad that he went here. I think Justin Fields I think he's going to boom, and I think he's in a perfect position to succeed. And it's simple. He has the defense to back him up. So even if he does struggle, the defense is going to keep them in games. They went to the playoffs with Mitchell Trubisky. We got to understand. They started off the season hot with Mitchell Trubisky, and it wasn't just because of him. It was because of the defense. And Justin Fields, in my opinion, is a better player than Mitchell Trubisky, and he has a chip on his shoulder. The guys who were drafted ahead of him, the whole Ohio State can't produce quarterbacks. So I think he's going to come in the league. I think he's going to take over when Andy Dalton struggles, and I think he's going to boom, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal career in Chicago just because they put him in a perfect place for him, a perfect system. The defense is going to help him. He has a running back, and David Montgomery. He has some wide receivers. He has Allen Robinson. We can't forget. Allen Robinson is a dog. I don't care which I say. He has Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson has an actual quarterback now. So you give him, he's set up. It's just a matter of him going out there and, like I said, playing with that chip on his shoulder. So I think he's going to be a boom, and then Jamal Adams is going to be my bust.
All right. Darren, who's your boom or bust?
All right, so I'm actually going to go a little bit different. I'm actually going to go with a former quarterback wide receiver tandem that had over 20 touchdowns in the 2 years that they played and 2,200 receiving yards when those two played together. That tandem being Matthew Stafford, Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is now with the New York Giants, and Matthew Stafford is now with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, those two players are true boom or bust players because if Kenny Golladay could not stay healthy all season, and if he could not get over 1,000 yards for being the number one wide receiver for Daniel Jones, it's going to be a bust season no matter what else he does. And if Matthew Stafford cannot get the Los Angeles Rams, forget his stats. If he cannot get the Rams to the NFC Championship or at least the divisional round of the playoffs, it's a fail, people. It's a big fail. They traded and they had a guy in Jared Goff that they already had under contract, and then they sat there and traded him for multiple picks and giving away Jared Goff. And they said this is going to be the guy to bring them a Super Bowl. My realistic first choice was making if Matthew Stafford does not win the Super Bowl or get the Rams to the Super Bowl, it's a bust year for him. And Golladay, he has to have over 1,000 yards. But my guess, Golladay booms in that new offense in the Giants, because I'm really high on them right now. And Matthew Stafford unfortunately busts because I don't see them going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, Chris says, speak on it, Darren. I think that's the first time Chris agree with you, though, to be honest.
Listen, man, listen. You ain't got to agree with everything I say. Just know what I say. I always come with the facts, baby. Always come with the facts.
Except for hashtag 350.
Listen, it's always hashtag 350.
That wasn't facts.
350.
That wasn't facts.
I'm bringing it back this year. Every game. First game, Lamar Jackson, 350. 350. 350 over 100.
It's not even 350.
350.
350. All right, Avery, it's your turn. Who you got as a boom or bust?
All right, so I'm gonna start with a guy who needs to boom, or he will be a bust. And then I'll give you my boom and my bust. The guy that needs to boom, or he will be a bust, is Sam Darnold in Carolina now. If he doesn't have a good year, I think he's going to be a perennial backup for the rest of his career. This has got to be the year that he shows that I can lead a team, that I can take a team, and I can create wins. Maybe not always be the sole reason that we win, but not be the reason that we lose games, right? And so I think that this is the year for him to show you're either going to boom, you're going to be labeled a bust. It's as simple as that. But to the guys that I think that will actually, I'll start with my boom player. Surprisingly, Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is going to have a pretty good year this year. He's got a lot of tools and pieces around him, right? You still got Michael Thomas. You got Alvin Kamara in the backfield. I think that they're going to have a better season than people project. I don't think that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders or anything like that. But with how their defense plays and the fact that I believe they had the number one pass defense last year. So one of the big reasons they had the number one pass defense last year is because they were number 4 in the league in yards per catch allowed. Yards after catch allowed. So when teams catch the ball against them, which is rare, when they catch the ball, they don't allow them to go anywhere. There you go, right? So I think that if Jameis Winston just cuts down on the turnovers, I think that they can have a really, really good year. My bust.
Ew, Chris stupid.
Wow.
Leave him alone. He got his eyes fixed. He's good now.
That is a
yes.
That might be shot of the offseason right there. That's tough.
Wow.
That's tough. That's up there with me and Tom Brady dodging and being, swift. That's up there with that one. But my bust, I'm gonna go with Jared Goff. I think that there's nothing in Detroit for him to succeed for real. I mean, he's gonna have to show that he's like a top tier quarterback. Otherwise, they're going to have a very subpar to under average season. So I think that Jared Goff has to show that I can lead a team, that it wasn't all Sean McVay, that it was, partially me for the success of getting us to a Super Bowl, of getting us to, getting us to the playoffs last year, of, potentially even getting us to the NFC Championship game last year. So I think that he's going to have to show, but I don't think it's going to happen because, again, to Darren's point, he's lost the number one guy in Kenny Galladay. Jamal Williams, I think, is actually going to have a pretty solid year, but again, we don't even know if he's going to be the number one guy because you still got Swift back there. So I think it's going to be a situation where Goff is exactly. There's nothing in Detroit for Jared Goff to succeed. So I just think he's going to have a pretty subpar season, and it's going to be some dark times until they get one, a number one receiver, and two, they continue to build that team around.
Nah, I agree definitely with Jared Goff. I'm gonna give you my guys. It's gonna be real quick. My boom guy. Oh, he's doing NFC. Never mind. I did two NFC guys. So yeah, skip out on me. My bad, guys. I'm thinking. I got two AFC guys. I'm not prepared. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Next time. Next time.
Next time. You got me. You got me next. All right, let's move on. Yo, I really just like, hold on. That's AFC guys. Never mind. All right. New team. New shine. Oh God.
Louis shine.
He jacked himself all the way up.
Well, yeah, it's one of those days right now. New team, new shine. So this is going to be teams that are going to be on a new team. Are they going to have a new shine with them? They're going to shine on their team. Who do you think that player will be that will shine at the new locations? So I'm going to start off with Avery on this one. Who do you think will be the new team, new shine player?
Well, I just referenced the guy he replaced. Matthew Stafford is going to ball out this season. I don't care what anybody says. Matthew Stafford, it's not a Super Bowl or bust. It's literally Matthew Stafford. Just get ready. Wow. So I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a really good season. Me and a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, a brother of mine. You guys may know him inside the hashes. There you go. But you may know him inside the hashes, Deontay Daniels. We were talking about certain things, and one of the things that I pointed out was if I had to pick one quarter for all four quarters, some quarterbacks are great in the fourth quarter, right? You got your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady's, your Dak Prescott's, your Matt Ryan's, and different things like that, right? They're great in the fourth quarter. Some quarterbacks are good in the first quarter and first half, like your Justin Herberts, your Kirk Cousins, your things like that, right? And then you got guys who are just good for all four quarters. Whether the team wins or not, they're good and steady for all four quarters. And Matthew Stafford, to me, is the number one guy who's good for all four quarters of the football game, right? And so that's the reason that I think that he's going to finally take a leap. He's going to have weapons. He's going to have a defense. He's going to have a solid running game. And he's going to have a creative play caller. And McVay, I think Matthew Stafford is going to shine.
All right. Darren.
All right. So I'm actually going to go a little bit different. I'm actually going to go to two new incoming guys going to brand new teams. And I'm going to go with Micah Parsons for the Cowboys. And just hear me out. Micah Parsons as a hybrid DN linebacker would be immaculately amazing. And yes, I said immaculately amazing for the Dallas Cowboys. They need the edge rush. They really do. They need some type of person to give some type of pressure alongside of DeMarcus Lawrence if he comes back to his normal form. As well, they need help with that linebacker spot. Jalen Smith is a great linebacker. But as we see, Leighton Vander Esch, who's a good linebacker in his own regard, consistently is injured. He's almost like another Sean Lee. So what do? You get a guy that can take over on passing downs when need be for him, or take over on running downs when need be for him. That is your best option. DN hybrid linebacker for Micah Parsons. And second, I'm going Zayvon Collins, linebacker with Arizona. The tandem that's going to be made in the middle of that defense with Isaiah Simmons.
Exactly. Guys, I'm sorry.
No, that's true. But Micah Parsons will be more of a defensive end than a will linebacker. That's how.
Watch them put him in the middle.
They're gonna be stupid though. They're gonna be stupid. I ain't never say they was going to give me do the right thing. I said what they should do. But Zayvon Collins in the middle with Isaiah Simmons, that's a match made in heaven. Both of those guys can run sideline and sideline. They can both blitz well. They can both drop back in coverage. And Isaiah Simmons is a special guy in coverage. You can play safety, corner, and linebacker, all at particularly well spots. But if he continues to develop and get to where he was from his college senior year, that's a different story. Then you have Buda Baker on the second level. You have Isaiah Simmons. You have Zayvon Collins. And then up front, you have JJ and a healthy Chandler Jones. I know the corner situation is but it's going to be great.
All right. I have a question for you. The Cowboys are playing a 3-4 now. They're not playing the 4-3 anymore. Or sorry, they're playing the 4-3 now. No, they're playing a 4-3 now. They're not playing a 3-4 anymore. So you're gonna put Parsons with his hand in the dirt?
They will play. No. I'll explain.
You're just gonna have him strictly as a blitzing linebacker because then you won't.
No, what you will do is you will go ahead and use him like Seattle used Bruce Irvin somewhat. When you need to have him at linebacker, play him at the linebacker position to help stop the run. But on clear, obvious passing downs, if Michael Parsons is able to rush the passer as well as he did in college, why not put him there on the edge and see what he can do?
I'm still confused with it.
I know some people might be a little about it, but Michael Parsons has the speed and the ability to get after the quarterback.
It's going to be a hybrid 4-3.
It's going to have to be. The way they stopped them on linebackers. All right, Darius, let's get yours, man.
Avery, you took my pick, Matthew Stafford. Is it not obvious? Like, why are we not acting like Matthew Stafford didn't ball in Detroit when he was in Detroit? Like, it's another perfect position. You have the Rams, right? Like, Sean McVay, a genius on the offensive end. You have a defense which has always been a top 5, top 3 defense with Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. Like, he has Cooper Kupp, and you have Robert Woods, and then they have the multiple tight ends. Like, why is it not Matthew Stafford who's going to shine? He's going to shine. Like, it doesn't even, like Avery said, it doesn't matter if he goes to the Super Bowl. He's going to put up numbers. He's going to put up at least 3,500 yards passing just because he has the weapons. And now you actually give him a defense. The only thing is, yes, he's in the NFC West and he has, Seattle, but it's like, bro, he has everything he needs to actually succeed. Now all he has to do is just go out there and play like he did in Detroit, and he will succeed. He will shine. But my guy who I think is going to shine, Darren, you actually said his name, but I thought you was going to say him, J.J. Watt. I think J.J. Watt in Arizona, with what they're doing on that defensive side, you got Chandler Jones, they drafted Zayvon Collins, you got Isaiah Simmons, you got Buda Baker. Like, I think J.J. Watt is going to shine. I don't think he's going to be the same as he was in Houston when he first came and he was Defensive Player of the Year, but I do think he's going to make a lot of noise on that defensive front. And then you have, like I said, you have Chandler Jones on the other side with him. So just imagine that pass rush. But I think J.J. Watt's going to come in. He's going to do what he's going to ask to do. He stays healthy. If he could stay healthy for most of the season, then, he could possibly put up at least 10-plus sacks. He has the potential to do it. But I think he's going to shine, especially because he's in a new team.
Rams win the division.
That's not a hot take.
I'm not saying it is.
It's very fair.
Honestly, here's the hot take. Rams win the division by 3 games or more.
Now that's a hot take.
Jacob got them going to the Super Bowl. Wow. Let's see.
I can see like division round, NFC Championship game, but Super Bowl.
Listen. Remember what Aaron Rodgers said. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. I love Patrick Mahomes, but there's this guy down in Detroit who's been doing all of those no looks and all of that stuff.
That's true.
For the last 10 years.
That's true.
That's high praise from one of the best quarterbacks, most talented quarterbacks you've ever seen.
True.
He's a dog.
That's true. But you gotta understand, you gotta hope everybody's healthy, and then if you got injuries, you gotta make adjustments. So that's why I said, but if that team can stay healthy, absolutely, and they get a home and they can get home field advantage, who's really going into that stadium and actually beating them with that defense? With them able to run the ball.
I'm not saying that Matthew Stafford is not good. Last week I told you guys, 38 fourth quarter comeback wins out of 78 total wins. More than half.
Quick
Come on, man.
thing that will, I think, if they make this move, if the Rams make this move, they will, in my opinion, their defense will be the number one defense in the league if they make this move. Bring in Brian Poole to play in the slot. It's over. He's the best, in my opinion, he's the best slot corner in the league.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's fair.
Trade if they really want to go on all this year, trade the second and the fourth to the Patriots. Get stuff
on. No. Next topic.
Nope.
Here we go. Wrap it up.
That's the best time. He's 31. He's almost about to be at that age where he's like,
Trade for Marlon Humphrey then.
No.
This ain't happening.
They are quick to trade for now guy.
No.
Wait, time out, Darren, you're forgetting that dog that they had on the other side of Jalen Ramsey last year. They don't need Stephon Gilmore on the outside. All they need is another slot corner. That's it.
If they got Gilmore on one side, Ramsey on the other, and you put that man that was the dog on the outside in the slot.
No, he's not a slot.
He plays the slot.
He can, right? No.
I'm telling you, man. Listen.
Next topic.
He can do it. He can do it, man.
Trade. Then they're going to trade for Marlon Humphrey. How about that?
After we just add him to a new contract.
All right, then. Since we saying ridiculous things on the pod, since we saying ridiculous things on the pod,
you guys know this is recorded, right? Y'all guys know this is recorded. All right, let's get to our next, last final topic, which will be the NFC camp battles. So these are camp battles that we think are going to be some of the best in the NFC. We're doing NFC this week. So anybody that two receivers, maybe a new receiver versus a veteran receiver, or a rookie versus a veteran, or two veterans that been on a team already that have been kind of battled out already. So give me a camp battle of your liking. Darius, you go first. What's a camp battle that you would like to see?
I'm stuck between two. I'm stuck between Andy Dalton and Justin Fields, and then Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm stuck between those two, because it's kind of the same, right? Like, you have veteran quarterbacks who both had playoff experience, right? Jimmy Garoppolo has a Super Bowl win under his belt as a backup, but then he's been to a Super Bowl. But we know what's happened last year with the injuries and him not be able to really push the ball downfield. So then you draft a guy like Trey Lance, number 3 overall pick. So it's like, that's going to be a competition. But then you go to Chicago and you look at what they got brewing up over there with Andy Dalton, right? Andy Dalton, a proven veteran, a guy who's, has success with Cincinnati, been to the playoffs, hasn't won a game, but he's been to the playoffs, so he knows what it takes. So I think both of those battles, but I'm really leaning more towards Justin Fields, just because what I said earlier. I think Andy Dalton wins the battle just because of his veteran leadership and his mentality that he has. But I think at some point we're going to see Andy Dalton start to decline, and then they're going to put in Justin Fields. Because at some point, Justin Fields is going to see the field. At some point, you're going to put him in the game. So I think midway through the season, Andy Dalton's struggling. The Bears aren't really winning games. You put Justin Fields in, the team rally around him, and that division is open. That division is very open because we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. That's why, Avery, because you looked at me like, well, I got Aaron Rodgers. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is there. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, there's no clear-cut winner for that division, right? Detroit with Jared Goff. Minnesota with God knows what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins, right? You got Chicago and then an up-and-coming team. In Green Bay, we don't know what's happening with Aaron Rodgers if he's actually going to play. So that's So I think that's the battle I'm really looking forward to, and I'm going to keep my eye out just because I want Justin Fields to break that curse of Ohio State quarterbacks not being able to play in the league. Like I want him to actually break that curse, and he's like I said, he's got that chip on his shoulder. So,
all right, Avery, you look like you got something interesting on your mind. I want to hear what you got, man.
Well, first, Justin Fields wins that battle. It's not going to be Andy Dalton. Justin Fields, he wins the battle, and he's the day one starter. But
we'll see.
So there's three battles that I'm really, really, really interested in. Obviously, Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, right? That's a good one right there, right? You want to see what's going to happen. The 49ers obviously traded up to get Trey Lance. So the expectation is he doesn't sit long, right? You don't trade up to get that type of player and have them sit long. They'd rather have him play sooner than later. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits a year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if by game 6 he's in there as a starter. I don't think he wins the job outright, but I think they do groom him into being the starter, and he does see some time on the field this year. So that's one.
I know how much you love him, Chris. That's why I did it.
Number 2, the one that everybody's talking about but nobody's talking about, or one of the ones that everybody's talking about but nobody's talking about, Aaron Rodgers versus the Green Bay Packers.
It's a documentary on ESPN 30 for 30.
Listen, that's a camp battle that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Is Aaron Rodgers going to show up? If he does show up, is he going to give everything, or is he going to be hurt every day during camp? What's going to happen with that saga? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z. But the real quarterback battle that I think everybody should be talking about, but nobody's talking about. The Washington football team, Tyler Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Come on, y'all. Listen, this team is really primed to win right now. Their defense is phenomenal. Their offense has a lot of weapons. You bring in a veteran quarterback, right? We saw what Tyler Heineke did against the reigning Super Bowl champs last year. They took them to the brink of elimination. They gave them everything they could. Now you bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's another guy. These are two guys who literally play like they have nothing to lose. They play like they have nothing to lose. They're like, listen, man, I'm not a $25 million a year quarterback. I'm just a guy who everybody kind of overlooks. But now you, again, a defense, a running game, a running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. You got Terry McLaurin, who's one of the most underrated receivers in the league. I cannot wait to see who becomes the starter and what happens down in Washington with the football team. That's the quarterback battle that everybody needs.
That's an underrated battle. That's a very under the radar, underrated battle. I can see that.
That was a good one, Avery. That was a good one. All right, we're going to finish off with Darren. Shaking his head already. What is it?
Man, I was gonna say the Washington battle because I was thinking like Heineke and Fitzpatrick. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, but whatever comes out is gonna be amazing, especially with the supporting cast. They have weapons in Washington. I love that. But luckily, because I know you guys, y'all always seem to get something that anyone else wants to do. So I have my two backup options. One of them being the main one that I really thought you was gonna say. The battle for quarterback in New Orleans.
It's no battle. Jameis is the
it's no camp battle. Yeah.
I understand. Everyone believes it should just be Jameis. But in that building, Mr. Sean Payton is very, very high on Taysom Hill. He loves what Taysom Hill did this past season when he came in for Drew Brees. And that will be the reason why.
That is AFC, guys. That is AFC.
That's next week.
Next week.
But that is why I say that's going to be the battle that a lot of people are not going to worry about But do not be surprised if Taysom Hill really gives Jameis Winston a run for his money in training camp. And it's based off of the pedigree and the relationship that he has with Sean Payton. That would be the one quarterback battle no one talks about. And as well, something that is something I just kind of want to see. Cowboys wide receiver battle. Can CeeDee Lamb overtake Amari Cooper as the number one wideout in that room? That is a great battle that no one's talking about because CeeDee Lamb had almost 1,000 yards last year receiving. And that's with Dak Prescott for only, 5 games? That guy was amazing. And no slight to Amari Cooper because people underrate him and say that he's not as great. No. Amari Cooper is a good receiver, people. Great, excellent route runner. Got enough speed to get behind you. The guy can do it a little bit of everything.
Step with Stephon Gilmore's on him.
But
pull up the highlights. That's all I'm saying.
We talking crazy now. But
this is wild.
The battle is
Jalen Hurts versus Joe Flacco. That's a battle.
That's hilarious. But CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. If those two can almost become a 1A, 1B, listen, that would be Thank you. He's underrated.
Yes.
Now I'm not saying top 10, but he is definitely underrated.
Definitely underrated. Not
underrated.
Top 15. Top 15.
Yeah.
I give you top 15.
I agree with Chris.
I will give you top 15.
No, I don't agree with that. I
agree with Chris.
I got Cooper over McLaurin. McLaurin, here's the reason I got Cooper over McLaurin. Neither one of them is great against top-tier corners, but Cooper's better against – Terry McLaurin be getting clamped up against the top-tier guys. Look at the numbers against Jair Alexander, and he be getting clamped up, straight up, point blank. I don't care what nobody say. Terry McLaurin be dogging the second-tier corners in the league. But Cooper, he actually competes with those top guys. I'm not going to say that Cooper is again a top 10, but I think that I would take Cooper over McLaurin, but I wouldn't put Cooper in the top 10, top 15 though maybe.
Listen, I get what y'all saying, but Cooper still have to work. Cooper don't only have to worry about a Lamb; he still got to worry about Gallup as well.
Gallup
came on last year, man. He's looking good.
I wasn't even going to mention
Cooper.
If you add in all three, that battle for the just seeding is going to be ridiculous.
I would trade
number 4, 5, and 6 wide receiver spot. Oh, they're going to have to come with it.
Trade Cooper.
Ever it's a 4,
Cooper is going to be the number one, and he's going to prove it this year.
Not if you're going up against Gilmore.
Stop.
The numbers don't lie.
Yo,
just look at the numbers.
Funny.
Just know what I'm saying.
Stephon Gilmore gets exposed this year.
Probably.
Patriots get rid of guys a year before.
He got exposed last year a little.
Just a little. If he gets rid of
he got exposed. Devontae Parker is his daddy in Miami. He be exposed. That's one player that exposes him, and I can't even sit there and lie. He exposes him. So.
Oh man.
Top entry battles. Detroit is anyone who watches
my man Jacob with the heat.
Time to go. Man. Time to wrap it up.
Jacob coming with the heat today, man. We gotta wrap it up on that one. we might get hurt for this one. Ooh, I like that.
Let's wrap it up here, guys. Jacob with the heat today. I love it. We're gonna have to get Jacob one day, man. But guys, we'll thank you guys for getting on with us, and we appreciate everybody getting on. We appreciate all the people that came in and commented. Guys, we always appreciate you guys coming on. If you are watching this later on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, because when you do that, you can see when we are live, and you can get your comment in here live time like everybody else is. But if you're not able to do that, you can put your comments right at the bottom on the comment section. We will reply to them, and maybe we'll get you on your comment on the next podcast, and maybe a hot topic or something like that. So You can do that on our YouTube channel. Search Inside the Hashes on YouTube. It'll be right there, and you can watch all our podcasts. Not only this, but other interviews, gaming, things like that on there as well. Also, make sure you check out all our social media. Check out our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter on Inside the Hashes. Inside Hashes on Instagram. I'm sorry, Inside Hashes on Twitter. Sorry. And also make sure to check us out on all our podcast platforms as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We listen to all our player interviews on there. A lot of players that we talk about, we have on them. We talk to them on our platform on there. So make sure you go check that out as well. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you again next week. But I'm your humble host, Jerron Jones. We got Darren Braxton, the coach. We got Avery Collins, ATL. And we got Darius Riddick, New England all day.
I'm gonna come next week with my sweater, the sleeves cut like Bill Belichick.
Matt Ryan for president.
Hashtag
as
350.
As always.
Man,
Hashtag 350.
all
that.
man. We already know. It's big trust.
A-Town down.
I
See you guys.
man. I can't with these guys. It's big trust, baby.
See you guys next week. Have a good one. Stay safe, and we see you then.